There's a video, you've probably seen it, an octopus in an aquarium tank, unscrewing a jar from the inside, twisting the lid with its arms, pushing it open, crawling out. Clever, proof that octopuses are smart. But here's what that video actually shows. An animal with no bones solving a three-dimensional puzzle. An animal whose brain is distributed across its entire body. An animal that can see with its skin, taste with its arms, and restructure its own genetic code on the fly. An animal that shouldn't exist, because octopuses aren't just intelligent. They're intelligent in a way that violates almost every rule we thought applied to complex cognition. They have 9 brains, 3 hearts, blue blood. They can edit their RNA in real time, something no other animal on Earth does at their scale. And they evolved all of this independently, completely separately from us, from mammals, from anything with a spine. The last common ancestor we shared with an octopus lived 600 million years ago, a brainless, eyeless worm crawling on the seafloor. And from that, 2 lines split. One led to us. The other led to them. Evolution ran the experiment twice, and the second time, it built something alien. Let's start with the obvious. Octopuses have 8 arms, not tentacles. Arms. Tentacles are longer, have suckers only at the tips, and belong to squid. Octopus arms are covered, top to bottom, with suckers. Each arm can have up to 280 of them. But here's what most people don't realize. Those suckers aren't just for gripping. Each sucker contains around 10,000 chemoreceptor cells, taste receptors. When an octopus touches something, it's not just feeling it, it's tasting it at a molecular level. Imagine running your hand across a table and instantly knowing what it's made of, whether it's been cleaned, what touched it last. That's every surface, every second, for their entire lives. And the arms themselves, they're autonomous. 2/3 of an octopus's neurons, around 500 million, are not in its brain. They're distributed throughout its arms. Each arm has its own neural ganglion, a cluster of nerve cells that can make decisions independently. If you sever an octopus arm, it will continue to crawl, explore, even try to bring food toward a mouth that no longer exists. The arm doesn't know it's been cut off. It still thinks it's part of something, but it gets stranger. Octopuses have no bones, no skeleton, no rigid structure at all, except for a small beak made of chitin. The same material as an insect's shell, hidden at the center of their arms. That beak is the only hard part, which means an octopus can squeeze through any opening larger than that beak. A 200-pound giant Pacific octopus, 7 feet across, can fit through a hole the size of a lemon. Their body isn't a shape, it's a suggestion. Now, let's talk about what they see. Octopus eyes are large, alien, structured almost identically to human eyes, with a lens, a retina, an iris that contracts. It's one of the most striking examples of convergent evolution in biology. But here's the problem. Octopuses are colorblind. They have only one type of photoreceptor. They shouldn't be able to distinguish red from blue, green from yellow. And yet, octopuses are masters of camouflage, matching not just the color, but the texture and pattern of their surroundings in less than a second. How? For decades, scientists couldn't explain it. Then in 2015, researchers made a discovery that changed everything. Octopus skin contains the same light-sensitive proteins found in their eyes, opsins. Their skin can detect light independently. They don't just see with their eyes, they see with their entire body. An octopus doesn't need to look at a rock to match its color. It can feel the light reflecting off it. Its skin samples the environment and adjusts in real time, without any input from the brain. But here's the deeply strange part. We don't know if octopuses are aware of what their skin sees. Their skin is reacting to light, making decisions, changing texture and hue. But does the central brain know? Does the octopus experience what its skin perceives? We have no idea. It's possible that an octopus experiences vision as a full-body sensation, a kind of distributed sight that has no equivalent in any vertebrate. Imagine seeing in every direction at once, through your entire surface, but never being able to close your eyes. Let's go deeper. Octopuses have 3 hearts. 2 branchial hearts pump blood through the gills. 1 systemic heart pumps it through the rest of the body. And when an octopus swims, really swims using jet propulsion, The systemic heart stops. That's right. Their main heart stops beating, which is why octopuses prefer to crawl. Swimming is exhausting, literally cardio stopping. And their blood? It's blue, not metaphorically, not under certain lights. Actually blue, because instead of iron-based hemoglobin, octopuses use copper-based hemocyanin to carry oxygen. It's more efficient in cold, low-oxygen environments, which is why it evolved in mollusks. But copper blood has a cost. It's far less efficient at carrying oxygen than our blood, which means octopuses are constantly on the edge of oxygen deprivation. Their metabolism is sluggish, their energy reserves limited, and yet, despite this handicap, they're some of the most active, intelligent invertebrates on the planet. They're running on fumes and still outthinking most fish. But now, we reach the truly alien part. In 2015, researchers sequencing the octopus genome discovered something that shouldn't be possible. Octopuses edit their own RNA. Let me explain. Your DNA is your blueprint, fixed, locked. When your cells make proteins, they transcribe DNA into RNA, and the RNA is translated into proteins. It's a one-way street. But octopuses rewrite the RNA after it's been transcribed before it becomes protein. They're editing the instructions on the fly. This is called RNA editing, and while it happens occasionally in mammals, it's rare. Less than 1% of our transcripts are edited. In octopuses, over 60%. They are fundamentally altering the function of thousands of proteins in real time, allowing them to adapt to temperature changes, environmental stress, and neurological demands faster than almost any other animal. But here's the cost. RNA editing is so resource-intensive that it may have slowed down their DNA evolution. Octopuses have one of the slowest rates of genetic evolution among complex animals. They've traded long-term adaptation for short-term flexibility, which raises an unsettling question. If octopuses can rewrite their biology on demand, are they even the same organism from day to day? So, 9 brains, blue blood, skin that sees, RNA editing. But the real question is, how smart are they? And the answer is, we don't know, because octopus intelligence doesn't map onto ours. They can solve mazes, open jars, recognize individual humans. In laboratories, octopuses have been observed watching other octopuses solve puzzles, and then replicating the solution without trial and error. That's observational learning, but they also do things that make no sense. Octopuses are escape artists, infamous for it. They'll dismantle tank equipment, squeeze through filtration pipes, crawl across floors to reach other tanks. There are documented cases of octopuses leaving their enclosures at night, eating fish in neighboring tanks, and returning before morning. Not for survival, for curiosity. But here's the paradox. Octopuses are solitary. They don't live in groups. They don't raise their young. They don't teach. Most species only interact with other octopuses to mate, and sometimes they'll cannibalize each other instead. So, why did they evolve intelligence? In every other intelligent species, primates, cetaceans, corvids, elephants, complex cognition evolved to navigate social environments, to cooperate, deceive, form alliances. But octopuses don't have societies. They live alone, hunt alone, die alone. And yet they're problem solvers, tool users. In Indonesia, veined octopuses have been observed collecting coconut shells, carrying them across the seafloor, and assembling them into shelters. That's planning, foresight, tool use, for an animal that will never teach another octopus what it learned. And here's the cruelest part. Octopuses live for 1 to 5 years. That's it. A giant Pacific octopus, one of the largest, smartest species, lives for 4 years. And once they mate, they die. Females stop eating after laying eggs. They guard the eggs obsessively, blowing water over them, keeping them clean. And slowly, over weeks or months, they starve. When the eggs hatch, the mother is already dead. Males die shortly after mating, their bodies deteriorating rapidly. This is controlled by the optic gland, a small organ behind the eyes that regulates hormones. Remove the optic gland, and octopuses live longer, much longer, but they never reproduce. Evolution has hardwired death into their biology. They are programmed to die after passing on their genes, which means every octopus that learns to open a jar, escape a tank, recognize a human face, dies before it can teach anyone. All that intelligence, all that adaptability, gone. Every generation, reset. So, here's what we're staring at. An animal with 9 brains distributed across its body that can taste with its skin, see with its arms, edit its own genetic instructions in real time. That evolved intelligence without society, cognition without culture. An animal so different from us that it's been called the closest thing we'll find to an alien intelligence on Earth. And maybe that's the point. Because if you wanted to know what intelligence looks like when it evolves without hands, without vocal cords, without tribes or families or language, you'd get an octopus, a mind that is brilliant and utterly alone. They don't pass down knowledge, they don't build, they don't communicate across generations. Every octopus is born knowing nothing, and dies having learned everything by itself. It's like watching evolution invent genius, and then erase it, over and over, for 300 million years. We assume intelligence has a purpose, that it leads somewhere, that minds like ours, minds that build languages, cultures, civilizations, are the goal. But octopuses don't support that story. They're intelligent, and it goes nowhere. They learn and forget, adapt and die. Evolve cognition complex enough to rival a dog's, and then reset completely with every generation. Maybe that's the real lesson. Intelligence isn't destiny, it's not progress. It's just another survival strategy, no more guaranteed to succeed than venom or flight or photosynthesis. We think of our brains as the pinnacle, the end point. But octopuses remind us that evolution doesn't care about potential. It doesn't care about legacy. It only cares about what works right now. And for octopuses, what works is this: be brilliant. Be adaptable. Be utterly, completely alone. And when you've done what you were built to do, let go, because the ocean doesn't remember. Evolution doesn't reward. And intelligence, without anyone to share it with, is just a spark in the dark, bright, brief, and then gone.